Greetings, Tennessee basketball fans, SEC basketball fans, college basketball fans. Wes Rucker and Grant Ramey here with 24/7 Sports GoVols247, talking about Tennessee's season opener Friday night against the Chattanooga Mocs, the artists formerly known as the Moccasins, before they changed it to the Mocs, a program that I know a little bit about from being down there in Chattanooga for a few years. And Grant, this is a game against an opponent that, if you're not a hardcore college basketball fan or someone who lives in Southeast Tennessee or North Georgia, you might not know that this is a team that won 29 games last season and returns more than 50 points per game from its starters.
Yeah, 129, only lost 6. Went to the NCAA tournament. Obviously, it was I think a 12 seed, a very deserving NCAA tournament team. They didn't just squeak in by any means. Won the regular season SoCon, won the tournament championship. This is a good team with a lot of, returning 4 or 5 starters. They start 5 seniors. They got a good young head coach. It's a team with a ton of upside, and it's almost like Tennessee's season in a nutshell. They're not going to be the favorites to win a lot of games. They're going to. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. They're not going to have more experience than them or more size than them, and I think that's the case going into Friday night. It's hard to imagine if they do win how they do it, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, for people who don't know the Southern Conference or the SoCon all that well, that's a conference that has Davidson, and college basketball fans should know all about GQ Bob McKill up there and his Davidson Wildcats. And you've also got East Tennessee State with former Tennessee assistant Steve Forbes doing a great job up there. That's a good league with some really good programs, and Chattanooga not only won that league but won the tournament, was a no-doubt NCAA tournament team, and they play a really fast style, and they got a 6'10" guy in the middle. They got some depth. Tennessee, I don't think depth will be a problem for this team, but handling, Tennessee wants to play fast. Chattanooga does play fast, and I think that's going to be something. You're talking about Will Wade, former coach down there. They still kind of have that havoc system. It's tough to play against if you've not done it very often.
It's almost like what you would kind of draw up as what Tennessee doesn't want in a season opener.
Yep.
They're getting in a season opener.
Yep.
You don't want an experienced team because you have an inexperienced team. You don't want a team that really knows how to win because this team's still going to be finding ways to win games. It's going to be a struggle, honestly, and I don't think people should be shocked by that. I think you should judge more what kind of progress they're making on the floor and kind of the eye test more so than what's shown on the box score.
Yeah, just by watching this team in practice and what we've heard from the coaches, and I see no reason to not think what I started thinking going into the season, which is that this could be a fun team.
Yeah.
It could be an exciting team to watch. It's got a lot of athleticism. It will lob the ball up. It will throw it down. Yeah. It will block shots. It will get on SportsCenter occasionally. There's that kind of athleticism and that kind of ability on this team, but translating that into something that's functional on the court and something that wins is something that I think could be a struggle for a lot of teams.
Yeah, and it's what we've been repeating and what they've been repeating. It's a more athletic team, sure. It's deeper because there's less separation among your starting 5, whoever that is, and the 5 guys that come off the bench, or 6, or whatever the number their total rotation is. There's not going to be as much fall off, obviously, because there's not that separation. Yeah. But this is a really big game for this team. If they could find a way to win this game, that's huge for them. Starting off with a confidence builder like that against a team like Chattanooga in that program. But they're going to have to win the games that they have to win, which are the App States, the Lipscombs, Tennessee Tech. Who else? Presbyterian.
Yep.
Maybe Georgia Tech is a huge one in early December. They're going to have to win those games and then see what they can do in the bottom half of the SEC standings against those teams. But yeah, if they could just find a way to win Friday night, that's a huge confidence builder for a team that's going to go through a ton of growing pains and a ton of ups and downs.
Yeah, the good news is that a lot of these guys are comparable. The bad news is a lot of these guys are comparable. It's sort of the thing, and I think this could be a team that will win some games that maybe surprises some people, and I think it will be a team that will lose some games that will surprise people who aren't sort of hardcore basketball people, who don't know that there's a lot of parity in the game right now, and you're trying to learn how to win. We've heard Rick Barnes say it. Tennessee wants to go up and down the court. Tennessee wants to run a little bit. Chattanooga's been doing that for 2 years. They got a new coach last season, but it's the same system.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of the first game of the Donnie Tyndall era there against VCU. This kind of that system. They're going to go up and down, and it could be interesting. If I had to pick right now, I I don't know why, but I think Tennessee might win a close one here. I could be very, very wrong about that, but I think playing in Thompson Bowling Arena, I think there's some juice for opening night. I think this team might find a way to win this game. I wouldn't put a mortgage payment or a car payment on it, but that's my pick. But I get the sense that you might think it might go the other way.
I find it hard to imagine they'll win, but also when they were down 34-13 to Kentucky last year, I didn't think they were going to win that game. Also didn't think they were going to lose at Missouri. So that's the kind of team you're trying to judge. And this team openly says all the time that this is a team better than at any point last year, which is surprising. I guess it all gets down to how they can defend the ball, how much pressure they can put on the ball. Post defense isn't going to be good, but can they be competitive down there? Can they rebound? If they can do some of that stuff, yeah, they could find a way to win. But yeah, for me, it's hard to imagine it happens.
And it comes down to there's a lot of talented young ball handlers on this team, but they are young.
Yes.
Guys like Jordan Bone, guys like Quay Parker, guys like even Shambari Phillips, Lamonte Turner, young guys, and that system at Chattanooga it's not easy to play against. And Rick Barnes and his staff have been pushing these point guards, but we'll see how ready they are to go early in the season because this starts with a really, really tough one, guys. We'll be back throughout the season. We're going to cover Tennessee basketball perhaps more than it's ever been covered before. I think we're going to give this program the coverage that it deserves for a fan base
No
this
shortage
size.
of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, plenty of stuff to talk about, guys. We'll be here all season. Grant Ramey, Wes Rucker, and we'll see y'all down the road.